Take it away from him. Under 4 left. The barn is alive again. 52-51.
Got me in my hormones. All gas, no brakes. Score 4-0. If you think you own this place, you get foreclosed. I've been in my head, but it's not about a T3. I like to learn, but there's nothing you can teach me. We all got opinions. You about to hit a meat tree.
Hey everybody, it's the Sports Show here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada is where we record it, but it doesn't matter. You can be anywhere in the world to listen to this amazing podcast. We talk everything sports. It's the Mitch and Dimitri show, but unfortunately, we're Dimitri-less this week. My buddy is still in Greece, ripping it up and having a great old time. I see him on the Instagrams, posting all those great pictures of him and his family, and his in-laws, too. You know, that's the kind of guy he is. He's like, no, I'm bringing the in-laws. Great play, by the way. Great play, buddy. But guess what? Our Instagram handle, unfortunately, got hacked. Everyone wants to be a part of this thing to the point where Russian hackers are getting in there. That's right. It's a Russian guy. We told you before. We got into contact with the guy, and he wants something. We're trying to figure something out here. We're still in the negotiations. This is a lot harder than it looks. And, hey, Meta or Facebook or whatever you're going by this week, it would be nice if you guys helped out a little bit. But with that being said, you don't want to go there. Where you want to go is to YouTube. Take a look at the shirt. I made it this week. Yeah, that's right. Sports Show TV. Just go to YouTube, click in those words, and boom, subscribe. Be a part of this family that's growing every single week and every single day. We are loving it. The roster, that's what we call you guys that are the avid fans and love to listen to us. And we love playing all our happy hits for you guys. What a crazy week. I was literally putting together the agenda and I was thinking to myself, where do I start? There is a lot I want to talk about. There's a lot going on. I want to bring up a whole bunch of stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start here in Calgary. The free agency is over and it was an absolute train wreck, to be quite honest. It was horrible. We'll get into it. I know everyone here in Calgary knows. Any NHL fans out there all know what I'm talking about. Last week, I called it out. I said, hey, Johnny Gaudreau doesn't want to be here. It's very simple. In a world of media, in a world where we have phones and pictures and internets and everything else, on top of the Pony Express that we could have, easily got involved in, their pigeons with messages in their legs, we were hearing chirps all the way from Philadelphia or maybe Columbus. I don't know. Bottom line is this. Johnny, you absolutely decimated an entire city. We will talk about that in a few minutes. But before that, I want to talk to you guys about a couple of things that happened last week. I was at the edge of my seat, and this one goes out to Dimitri and his father-in-law because they're the hardcore tennis guys, and he's done it again. Novak Djokovic once again does what he does, and that's win. And this guy, we've dubbed him before as a killer. That's a killer in our expression and the way we talk about it on the podcast is somebody that goes in, absolutely destroys, and can back it up every single time. And that's exactly what Novak Djokovic. In fact, I'm going to go out and do something that I've never done before. Last week, Kevin Costner went 10 for 10 on MAGA Malaka. All his movies, excellent, amazing. Pass or fail, whatever we were doing last week for CJSW 90.9. This week, I'm dubbing. I'm going to give the championship belt, the first ever, of the Killer MAGA. That's the new title. The Killer MAGA is going to Novak Djokovic. Why? Because for the 4th straight year, he's absolutely cherished, won Wimbledon. He went in there, he was down 2-1 to our boy, Nick Kyrgios from Australia, fellow Greek as well. And all of a sudden, Kyrgios is doing his thing. Kyrgios is saying, hey, I got you on the ropes a little bit, little pound to the midsection, a couple of headshots. He thought he had the champ. He thought he had him on the ropes. He thought he had him. But ladies and gentlemen, like Djokovic does, like Djokovic can do, he obviously turned Nick Kyrgios around, put him on the ropes, and delivered the final blows. And the best part is that he did it Nick style. What does that mean? Well, Nick Kyrgios is known as the bad boy in tennis, and he's the guy that goes out there and jabbers at the umpire. And there was some points where he might have had a point. There was a fan, a Ruley fan, a drunk fan in the first or second row, and was being a little belligerent over to Nick. And he turns to the umpire and says, hey, if this was anybody else, you would have kicked her out by now. Why didn't you get rid of her? And the best part of the whole thing, and it's going to be a sound clip for years to come, is the umpire asks, well, who is it? He's like, well, the one that looks like she's had 700 drinks. Amazing. But what Nick does is he gets you rattled. He tries to anyways. He gets you. He takes a little longer. He might take a little break. He might do this. He might do that. And so what did Djokovic do? It was the most amazing thing. He's finally got him on the ropes. He's about to do match point. They've gone into quote-unquote tennis overtime. They're doing the extra points. And he takes his time and he sits back and he says, hold on a minute. Why don't you just revel in this? You're about to lose, Nick. I'm about to put you away. Just sit back and relax and let me just destroy you. And that's exactly what he did. And then the best part is when Novak gets the microphone. So this guy, if he was a wrestler, he might be the best wrestler. He's like the Rock of tennis because his mic skills are just as good as his tennis skills. So not only is he the most dominant figure on the tennis court, he grabs the microphone and he starts giving the gears to Nick a little bit, but you can tell they're gonna be best friends. You can tell that they have a good little chemistry together, and they will probably see each other again in the finals coming very soon. And he kind of gives the gears to tennis about, it's too bad I couldn't be in Australia and how I had to persevere over all that stuff and so on and so forth. So I have to give it to Novak Djokovic. He absolutely did everything he said he was going to do. He walks in and absolutely takes care of business. And that's why he's now dubbed the Killer MAGA. He's the Killer MAGA. That's it. Done. He is the first ever Killer MAGA on this show, and he's going to stay that way because this guy now has 21 Grand Slam championships, only one behind Nadal. But when you really think about it, he's got a little bit of, diverse portfolio. He's won at Wimbledon. He's won at the French Open. He's won at the Australian Open. Where if you look at Nadal's, it's all French Open, basically. So I'm not going to say it. I don't like giving all the accolades over to Dimitri, but I'm going to just say this. Novak Djokovic is the MAGA killer. He is the guy. He is everyone where I truly believe in all sports. This is where this is who you want to be. This is the guy you want to be one day in whatever sport you play. From there, let's get to another sport real quick, and that's golf. Right now, the British Open, it's not the British Open anymore. It's now the Open Championship being played in St. Andrews, the legendary golf course out in Scotland. And, I guess where I'm going to kind of just quickly go with it is I want to talk about the live golf that's recently, opened up, and somebody named Tiger Woods. Now, we all know who Tiger Woods is. I love the Tiger Woods. Who doesn't love the Tiger Woods? But at the same time, he gets on TV last week, gets on a report, and he's cutting down all the live golfers. And in my head, I'm like, dude, you're a little bit, what's the word? Oh, hypocritical. And the reason is this, you did what you did, Tiger, with your wife and all that stuff. And you know what? I don't like people using that stuff against them because that has nothing to do with golf. It's none of our business what he does. He's a shitty husband, granted. Okay, fine. But at the same time, that shouldn't take away from all his amazing accomplishments on the golf course, right? And what he did on the golf course for all those years, unbelievable. The guy revolutionized the sport like Steph Curry did, like a lot of other players did. But this guy really made golf cool. He made it fun. He made it where kids are now, in lineups to get into their local golf courses to hit and be like Tiger. And the reality is what I didn't like is where he turns around and basically hammers all the players that have left the PGA and gone to live. And let's just call it what it is. Just the way I called last week Johnny Hockey, and I'm going to be very realistic. People are leaving the PGA because the money they think at live golf is better. And maybe they see an opportunity where there's a new franchise. There's a lot of money on that side. It is backed by the Saudis, and it is what it is. And they know what they're getting themselves into. And they want to make some money because golf is that sport, just like tennis. You win, you make money. You don't win, you don't make any money. So if you're that middle of the tier golfer that's always in the hunt, but just never there, and you're making a decent paycheck and you got to remember, golfers have to pay their way, right? You got to pay for that airline ticket to get to wherever you got to go. You got to pay for your caddy and all that stuff. So the golfer, not to cry a river for these guys, but they have expenditures. They have things that they got to do, expenses that they got to take care of to get there. And if they see that there's this new golf league, you want to call it, that's offering some major money for some big wins, why would you not take advantage of it? And I say this to you, Tiger, and I say this honestly. You've accomplished everything at the PGA. So when I hear it from you, it's kind of hard for me to say, I can't take you serious because you're in a different world, man. You're the first ever billionaire in golf. You're the first ever billionaire. And now you're saying, oh, shame on those guys for going over. Come on, Tiger. Come on, man. Everyone's got to eat. Everyone's got to have a little bit of a good time. The guys are just trying to go over there. Now, for those that have gone over to live golf, hey, you know what? Now you're over there. You basically, shunned yourself from the PGA. Because let's call it what it is. If you try to come back and you're a middle name, you're probably going to not get what you want. You're probably going to get the gears from the PGA authorities. So the way I look at it is good on you for changing it over. Good for you. But Tiger, keep your thoughts to yourself. And the whole thing this week where, you didn't make the cut, you're walking up the field to kind of, your last walk up St. Andrews. Hey, dude, nothing to be ashamed of. You are also maybe the second ever killer MAGA. The way I look at it is, Tiger, you were Novak back then. You were the first ever, but we weren't around to give you that title. But the reality is you've done your piece, man. You should be really pushing golf as an entire community. Now, your love is to the PGA. I respect that. I get it. But for those other golfers, you know what they've gone through, man. You were just, you got to remember, you were groomed at a very young age to be who you are. These other guys maybe were trying to be who you are, but they aren't who you are. So you got to give them a little bit of a pass, man. They're just trying to make a couple bucks, bro. That's it. They just want to make a couple of dollars and make it all the way. Just like me and Dimitri. We're trying to make a couple bucks. Get to YouTube, type in the Sports Show TV, click on subscribe and make us legendary. We want to be, we want to be a part of that crowd too, but hey, I digress. So good on you, Tiger. Congratulations on your career. I know you probably got one more tournament in you. I don't feel like this is the last one. There wasn't enough media there. All right. Finally, we go to the NHL. We're going to get over there right now. Why? Because what a crazy, crazy few days it was. And I'm going to start with the whole free agent, just everyone that signed, and then we'll get into what everyone knows. Me and South Carolina George, we were texting this week, and I'm telling you, South Carolina George is not a happy man. He is not a happy man at all, and rightfully so. And we're going to get into it because at the end of the day, there was a lot that happened, and I'm telling you right now, for those that don't live in the city of Calgary, I don't know if you're in Edmonton, in Vancouver, Dubai, wherever you are listening to this and you happen to be an NHL fan, let me give you the insight on the inside before I get into the NHL free agency. The city is absolutely confused, and if it wasn't for Stampede happening this week, where everyone's basically had a few too many, I think it would have been worse. But the liquor eased the pain, if you will. It eased the pain a little bit. So from there, let's get into the NHL free agency. Let's talk about some of the people that did re-sign. And we'll start in Pittsburgh. It's Dimitri's favorite team. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins. Crosby's there, and he says, hey, Hextall, we got two more guys that I need to try to keep here if you guys want us to be relevant in the next little while, and that is Letang, and that's the other guy, Malkin. And Letang signed right away, and he basically said, yeah, give me the 6 year. I'll stick around. I'll play with my boy Crosby. And then the night before, they announced that Malkin is not going to re-sign with the Penguins. And a lot of people were taken back by it, going, whoa. But on the other side, it was kind of fun on this side to go, okay, where is he going to go? If he's not going to play with Sydney, where is this Russian machine going to go? Where is he going to go and play? What's he going to do? And the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, he re-signed in Pittsburgh. He kind of played a little bluff. Maybe, I don't know the full extent of what happened, but he looked at the numbers. He said, hey, I like what I like. I don't like what I don't like. I'm going to stay where I know, where I'm happy, and I got a guy that I know can shoot the puck, and he can pass me the puck, and I can shoot it. One more year in Pittsburgh. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pittsburgh Penguins have signed the man, Evgeny Malkin. He's fine. He will be in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh did a couple of more signings. They're going to be fine. They're going to look good. They're going to be I think they're going to still stay in that middle of the pack, top 2, top 3 in the Metro Division. They're fine. From there, we go over to the team to the north of us, and it's the Edmonton Oilers. And I've been waiting to go on this rant about something, and I will still. However, I'm glad I didn't do it sooner, because right now, this team did do some nice moves once again. I told you, I love Kenny Holland. I think he's a great GM. He was in Detroit. They said, hey, you've won cups there. You know what you're doing. Everyone in the NHL loves you. Come over here to Edmonton and tell us how to do this. We're doing something wrong here. And he came over, and now, what does he do? He finds Evander Kane last year and says, hey, Evander, I'm going to give you a little bit of money. It's your last chance. You want to make it work? Boom, he does. 4 years. He signs with the Edmonton Oilers, makes it just under 5, I believe it was. But you know what? For a guy that was down on his luck, he's a happy man. Evander Kane returning to your Edmonton Oilers. Also, Jack Campbell. Their number one problem in the NHL, for the Edmonton Oilers this week was goaltending. They were like, all right, we got Smith. He's too old. We're not sure what we're going to do with him. We just don't know where we're going to go down this road with goaltending. Should we start using our rookies? Should we start doing this? We need a veteran. And they go out and they get Toronto's goalie last year, Jack Campbell. Now, I like that move because he actually was the best goalie in the free agent market. There was no other real, I guess you could say Gerber, but Gerber ended up signing in Washington. But here's the thing. Gerber needed Francois. What did we say his last name was? Doesn't matter. The point is, they needed a double-edged goalie to win that Stanley Cup, and I think that's what kind of Edmonton's going to have to lure one more goalie, somebody they can count on a daily, somebody that can sit on the bench but be called upon when needed, because Jack Campbell's also proven that he gets a little bit hurt. Overall, love the move. I think the Edmonton Oilers were, let's call them an 8 out of 10 last year. I think they moved up to about an 8.3, an 8.5 with these moves. Well done, Edmonton, but there is a way to get to 10 out of 10. And I'm going to say it to you in the next couple of weeks. But we got so many other things we got to talk about. I'm going to jump over. I want to talk about the Rangers making a couple of moves. Vincent Trocheck, they get him from Carolina. Love that move. This Ranger team, a lot of people will call them a little phony. Some people were really disappointed in their playoff performance last year. They thought Shesterkin kind of, shirking the bed a little bit before it happened. But you know what? This Ranger team's right there. And they just picked up another offensive prospect that this guy can do some damage. He's a good fit to a good team. I like what the Rangers are doing. They've moved up a little bit. If they were an 8 out of 10, they're 8.1, 8.2. And I think that they're just another year better, as Dimitri would sometimes say. And I'm ready for the Rangers to make a move. And I think with Shesterkin now being a bona fide superstar, we know who he is. And you got the Adam Fox and you got the Panarin. The Rangers are a team to be dealt with. But a team that, another team that made some headlines, and it's a team that you would never really expect. It's the Ottawa Senators. And what am I talking about? Well, Claude Giroux, captain, Mr. Philadelphia, that, wanted to try to go for a cup, said, hey, Philly, listen, we're in a weird scenario. I hear you guys are going to hire John Tortorella next year. I heard you're going to bring in that D'Angelo guy. I don't want to get punched in the face. I need to get traded. I want to get traded. I'm going to decide where I'm going to go. And he ends up going to Florida. Well, as we all know, Florida gets bounced in 4 games against their arch rival. It's not really a rivalry. You get pounded that bad by Tampa Bay. But I digress. He had his chance. He's kick at the can. And Claude Giroux, the one thing I'll give it to him, he's realistic. He turns around and he says, you know what? I'm going to go back home. Where's home? Ottawa. He goes back to Ottawa, signs a 3-year? I think he signed a 3-year contract over there, which, you're with the other Tkachuk there, with Brady Tkachuk, looking okay. He's a good figure. He's a prominent player. A lot of people are going to respect him. But then they also got the guy that everyone was kind of coveting. He wasn't a free agent, but that's Alec DeBranc. He comes out of Chicago, 40 goals last year by this guy. And talk about Chicago, like unloading everything. Talk about a fire sale in Chicago. But they pick up Alex. They're excited about that. This Ottawa team got better on paper. Now, how are they going to play next year? Real quick, if they were a 6 out of 10 last year, and I'm being realistic, 6.5 out of 10, they moved up to a 7.5. I think these moves are great for the dressing room. They're great for the team. And, overall, exciting stuff is on its way in Ottawa, the nation's capital up here in Canada. It's going to be exciting to see. I mean, granted, they got to drive like an hour and a half away. Like, they live in the city, but then they got to drive to the stadium. Hey, whatever. But at least they have guys that want to be there and want to go. And here's another place and then I'll get into the good stuff. The team that I humbly believe won the free agent market, and no matter what else happens right now, I can't see anything beating these guys. It's the team in Detroit. The Detroit Red Wings, in my humble opinion, absolutely won the free agent market. Steve Yzerman has, in my humble opinion, in 1 year, in this past year, this free agent market time period, he might have put together a pretty good Stanley Cup team. Like, this team is going to be in the playoffs, bar none, next year. I think the only thing they're kind of missing is maybe a goalie, but I know they got one, but who did they pick up? David Perron. Talk about, leader. This guy can do what you need him to do. He's that guy. When I talk about grinders and I talk about guys that can score and body check and back check and do it, this is the guy I'm kind of talking about. He picks up David Perron. He picks up Kubalak, another a defenseman that he needs. Stay-at-home guy. He's going to do some stuff. Boom. He picks up Andrew Kopp. This is a guy that was with Winnipeg and then quickly made it over to the Rangers. Another grinder kind of guy, but high intensity from the Michigan area. This guy is the big one. Put him in with another defenseman, Ben Sherratt. Wow. This team went from, let's call it a 7 out of 10 last year, a 6.9. My humble opinion, on paper, they've moved up to an 8, maybe an 8.3, an 8.4. Dare I say an 8.5? Yeah, I'm serious. I mean, you got to remember, they got Larkin. They got Bertuzzi. They got the Rookie of the Year in Moritz. Like, this team is on its way, and it's all because of Mr. Stevie Y going, I want to bring back that feeling in Hockey Town. Now, granted, the city of Detroit is not the most beautiful city in the world. It's not going to win any sort of accolades in that market. However, it's a team that Stephen Y said, hey, I'm going to put together. I'm here. I'm your manager. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to make sure you guys are happy here. Don't worry. Now we go into the Calgary situation. By the way, as of right now, Nazem Kadri has not been signed. Kind of weird. I thought by now for sure he would have been picked up because everyone's saying he was the number 2 hot agent in the draft, but no, he hasn't been picked up. Okay, no problem. He'll go somewhere, and I look forward to talking about it when that happens. But now we're going to go over to the Johnny situation. I gave it a few minutes because I'm still trying to figure it out. As I was talking and ranting here for the last couple minutes, I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to explain this? Well, here's the whole scenario. So Johnny Hockey, like I said last week, has not given any word. No, it is crickets around the league. In fact, I'll go one step further. I didn't want to say it, but I know some people that know some people, and it was crickets on that end. He wasn't even talking to his buddies. Let's just say that, okay? And the reality is the 11th hour, the 12th hour shows up, and he makes the call. You know, True Living finally calls and says, okay, well, he hasn't called me. Should I call him? Should we call? I mean, does that look desperate? What do we do? I don't know. Okay, they call. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? Good. How are you? Good. Oh, listen, you know, I hate bothering you, but in an hour from now, the free agency thing's kind of done, and then tomorrow you're going to actually be on the free agent market. I mean, if you're going to re-sign with us, you know, maybe just put pen to paper, man, and let's get this done. I mean, we're offering you 8 times 10.5. I mean, it's an obvious thing, right, Johnny? Yeah, listen, about that, I've decided to go and test the waters. Oh, you're gonna test the waters, are you, John? Yeah. I think me and the wife, the kids on the way, and you guys have been so good to me. You guys drafted me, and everyone was saying I was little, and you guys made me into an all-star, and I really, really appreciate it. But yeah, I gotta kind of get back home. My mom's making a casserole, and blah blah, and my wife's from there. And did I mention we're having a kid? Yeah, John, you did. Ladies and gentlemen, last week when the announcement came out that Johnny Hockey was going to hit the free agent market, and then Tree Living goes onto the internets and tells the world of what's transpired, he kept calling him John. And I know Johnny is like kind of a playful like word or a playful name. However, that's what everyone's been calling him Johnny since he was young. And now as a grown-ass man at 29 years old, we still call him Johnny. Dougie Hamilton, Johnny Gaudreau. It just is the way they prefer to be called that name. But when he called him John on the interview, on the press release, I knew that there was bad blood. I just knew it. I didn't know how bad it was until the next day. So the whole free agent market, they were breaking records with regards to how many signings were going on. Everyone's waiting. I'm watching TSN. I'm watching Sportsnet. I'm on the Twitter. I'm waiting for them. And it comes through. Johnny Gaudreau signed 7-year, $9.75 million with the Columbus Blue Jackets. When I tell you I'm watching the TV and I see every analyst who's got their nose inside the GM's offices, that they have insiders on the insiders, Columbus was never supposed to be in the playing field. The best analogy I can say is if you're a kid that's about to go to homecoming and, you're an average-looking guy, you're nice, everyone knows who you are, and then the most popular, the best-looking, the everything girl comes up to you and says, Hey, Mitch, how you doing? Good. Oh, hey, what's up? Good. Listen, are you free for homecoming? And you're like, me? You're asking me out? Yeah. I mean, you good with that? Yeah, sure. And then you show up at homecoming with everybody is losing their mind. Now, I don't personally care where he signed. I was very intrigued by it. I was convinced beyond a shadow of the doubt, and I told everyone and their dog that he's going to go to Jersey because it made the most amount of sense. They'll give him that 9.5, 9.75 for sure, and they'll give him the 7. So to me, he would have got the exact same contract. I hear now in the rumblings that Philadelphia really didn't want to make a lot of roster moves. The GM there was a little lazy. He didn't want to like copy and paste and move some contracts around and fire people. So your hometown team that you thought wanted you didn't want you. The other hometown team that you have at your arsenal wanted you, but you didn't want to go there. And then there was a lot of talk about how the Islanders were really making a play. Like, I said it last week, here's a team that, it's ready. It's ready to serve. It's ready to eat. This team's good. They just need a little bit of more offensive firepower, a guy like Johnny. And this is a team that's an 8 on paper. It moves into the 9s with the signing of Johnny Gaudreau. And all of a sudden, he signs with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Not only is it weird, and I've been watching this pretty religiously over the last few days. No one can figure out why. So from a monetary point of view, Johnny Hockey literally left $15 to $17.5 million on the board by not signing in Calgary. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I was born and raised here. Granted, I get it, but I'm going to tell you guys something. It's not that bad here. But what he just did by not doing that, he made it seem like Calgary is the worst place for anybody to come. Now, Calgary, me and Dimitri have talked about this in the past. Calgary and Edmonton and Winnipeg definitely have a hard time bringing players, free agent players into here because it's far away. I get it. It's cold here in the winters, all the above. But ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Gaudreau, by leaving that money on the side, not wanting to be there, he literally just told all his NHL counterparts, don't go there. Now, a lot of people come here when they're playing and they'll see the city for a few minutes. And if they were part of a playoff run, they'll be here for a few days and they'll say, it's not that. And I know it's not that bad. But he, by not taking the money and not wanting to sign here after already being here 6 years, says a lot, not just from why Johnny, but now I have to say it's a managerial problem. It has to be. It has to be. This is a Brad Treliving dropping the ball. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Mitch, you can't be mad at Brad Treliving. You can't be mad at how they like each other. They obviously don't like each other. There must be something where Johnny sees something in the management that he doesn't want to be here. Well, there's a couple of things I think Johnny saw. Number one, I don't think Johnny likes Treliving because if he did, he would have re-signed and they would have had a better relationship and all that. Fine. You like who you like. You don't like who you don't like. Number two, the stadium thing. You guys don't think it's a big deal? It's a big deal. If a guy's going to stay here for another 8 years and take that kind of money, then a new stadium is just right there. Do you think Connor McDavid would have really signed and re-signed in Edmonton, and same with Draisaitl, if they didn't have the Rogers place? Absolutely not. I guarantee you. That stadium was literally built especially for Connor McDavid. And it's something out of appreciation. He's like, I got to stay here. I got no choice. Of course I'm going to stay here. From there, I go to the third thing. We can't keep anybody here, and it's hard already to get people here. I think Johnny just said, hey, guys, I appreciate the offer, but I just don't like the whole scenario. And I'm going to leave it on this. I said it last week, and now I'm even more convinced about it. The pressure. When you take that kind of money, especially in a city like Calgary, we are going to hound you. We are going to want you. You talked about in a previous presser that people are coming and shoveling your walk. You're going to have the whole city come and shovel your walk. But what we want in return is a Stanley Cup, Johnny. And I think that is the main culprit. And now that I see where he signs with Columbus, he doesn't want to be a captain. He doesn't want to be a leader. He just wants to play hockey. And I truly believe, ladies and gentlemen, that is why he signed in Columbus. I truly believe that he had gone to Philadelphia, a lot of pressure. Had he gone to New Jersey, a lot of pressure. Has he go to Calgary, extreme pressure. You go to Columbus, it's all about LeBron. It's all about Ohio State football. Hockey is like fourth on their list down there. But by not taking that money, you really sent a huge sound wave across the NHL that Calgary's got some major problems. And by him not signing, we all know, it's now the trickle effect is in effect. And this is where I do give Brad Treliving a little bit of a hard time. Plan B. What was your plan B? The signing of some of these players was absolutely garbage. Like we have nobody now. Look, Tkachuk is going to sign 1 year, and mark my words, and here's what's got to be played out now. We just lost Johnny Hockey again for nothing. We got him, like we couldn't trade him because we wanted to keep him so badly that he ended up walking away. We get nothing for one of the top players in the league. We can't be doing it again. And my fear is it will happen again with this managerial crew. We got to turn around and fire the guys that don't want to be here. We just got to get rid of them. It is what it is, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was so right last week. It breaks my heart. But same thing happened with Giordano. I don't know why here in Calgary we're so nostalgic. It's absolutely crazy how nostalgic we are with our players. Giordano, same thing. We lost him. We basically trade him away from nothing. We give him away. And then when he was available again during the trade, the inklings around here, let's try to get him back. Let's get Gio back. Why? I don't get what you guys, why are we so sensitive over here? Go get Gio back. Oh my goodness. No, he's gone. He's got to go. I'm sorry. He's gone. It's over. It's done. It was, I apologize if I went on a little rant there. I don't know what to tell you guys. It was so crazy, but I'm actually more mad at Johnny Hockey because he lied. He kept saying, I got to go back for family. And you know what's funny? Everybody was on his side going, yeah, you know what? If it's a family thing and he's going back home, man, makes all this. But then you end up going in Columbus and then you do your presser. And you even said it in your presser, Johnny. You're like, we only play here once a year. So, I got to get more accustomed to the city. So you knew nothing about this city, but you have Calgary. Calgary, I told you, we would have made you the Grand Marshal if you told everyone. If you're mad because we didn't make you the Grand Marshal, it's because you didn't pick up the phone to call us to tell Costner to get lost, and you would have been the guy. I find it absolutely crazy that it got to this point. It's so I can't even give you the words anymore because it's just so out of control. So I told you I talked to South Carolina George last week, and the words and the anger that came through George was like unbelievable. But I could say it, but then I'll get kicked off. Even where podcasts don't have a lot of rules with the CRTCs and all this stuff, we'll get kicked off. Maybe on another YouTube channel, I'll read you some of George's texts because they are absolutely hilarious. So South Carolina George loves the Calgary Flames, probably more so than anybody here in Calgary. And he is even at his wit's end. He can't figure it out. And his answer is exactly what I just relayed to you guys. It's time to go. Another last thing I'm going to say, it's karma. Old cousin Jim brought this up to me. He said, hey, we used to make fun of the Edmonton Oilers and how they were a disaster. Now look at us. And it's true. It's a good lesson in life, everyone. Don't make fun of anyone because it will come back and get you. All right. From there, let's go over to everyone's favorite segment. It's Rapid Banter. Here we go. Albert Pujols is 42 years old and he's going into the home run derby. His first matchup is 21-year-old Julio Rodriguez. Here's a quick little thing. Pujols was drafted in 1999, and a year and a half later, Rodriguez was born. Who do you got in this one? I'm going to take dad power. I like Dimitri's dad strength. I'm going to take Albert Pujols. I think he's the motivational guy. He's going to win the home run derby against the younger guy. He's got more power, more strength. Deion Sanders in September 1989 had a day that a lot of other players don't have. He ended up hitting a home run and then a couple days later scoring a touchdown with the Atlanta Falcons. What two sports could Dimitri dominate in? Two sports that Dimitri can dominate in? Oh, it's easy. Cornhole and raquetas. Yeah, those are his two favorite things in the world. In fact, I'll bet you he's playing a good game of raqueta right now. Celebrity boxing, Lamar Odom versus fake Drake. Who wins? Oh, here's one. Who cares? This celebrity boxing thing has gone a little far. I don't mind watching a Jake Paul fight some guy because, he's shown some flair and some fun. This, I can't get behind this. KD, Kevin Durant, demands a trade by Brooklyn. Should they grant him his wish? No, not at all. Listen, I am sick and tired, and we will talk about this probably in the next few podcasts. I'm sick and tired of the superstars all trying to call rank. No, you know what? I want to be traded. I went to Golden State. I won 2 champions. Now I want to go to Brooklyn. No, I don't want to play in Brooklyn anymore. I want to go somewhere. No, you know what? You're going to stay right here. You're going to stay right here. We have a contract. You don't want to play? Don't play. Sit on the bench. I don't care. Bottom line, you're staying right here. I truly believe that I would love to see a general manager turn around and say, no, we're not trading you. You're going to stay right here like you're grounded. I love it. NFL fantasies coming up. Start one, bench one, cut one. Got to think about it. Taylor, McCaffrey, and or Cook. Ooh. Start one, I would start McCaffrey. Bench one, I would bench. I'll bench Taylor and I'll cut Cook. Ooh. Yeah, I'll do it that way. Okay. Would you rather fight who would I rather fight in a dark alley? Brock Lesnar or Francis Ngannou? That's a tough one. How about none of them? Because I'm going to run the other way. There's your rapid banter for that. Can you imagine you walk into a hallway or a dark alley and these two want to fight you? One of them. I mean, it's over. You're dead. You'll die. It's like, and what would you have done to either one of them to get them to hate you that much? If you had a chance to watch Tiger Woods Masters, so his last game at the Masters, or attend Game 7 where Michael Jordan is playing, which would you rather attend? Ooh. You know what? I think I would rather watch Tiger. I know it sounds a little weird because I was giving him the gears earlier, but I think I would rather watch Tiger. I think it would be fun, following the thousands of people walking up and down 18 holes. I think it would be kind of neat. So I'll do that one. All right, last one. Hypothetically, who would you trade, Draisaitl or McDavid? Ooh, again, big talk. Find out next week. Rapid banter. From there, ladies and gentlemen, we go to everyone's favorite segment. It's MAGA or Malaka. Here we go. This is we got two of them again this week. It's things to do in Columbus or things to do in Calgary. Well, hey, you know what? We you guys have heard through the last 5 years of all of us talking, or 6 years actually, sorry, was the sports show talking about Calgary. Let's tell you a little bit of something. There's got to be an answer in here into why Johnny decided to go to Columbus. Let's find out. MAGA or Malaka, Franklin Park Conservatory. I'm going to go Malaka. I'm going to go Malaka hardcore on that one. That does not sound fun in any sort of way, and it doesn't sound like it's something that Johnny would be totally into. So Malaka. What's this? Caston Town Center. So if you're in Columbus, head down to Caston Town Center. You know what? Malaka again. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, we have 17th Avenue. We've got a lot of others. So no, I'm not intrigued. Oh, maybe this one. North Market Farmers Market. Oh, that's what. No. That's a Malaka as well. I don't care for your farmers market. I'm sure it's great. But guess what? We have one too. And in Greece, they have better ones. So I'm just going to say, no. You wanted to go somewhere? Play for the Greek national team, Johnny, if you wanted a good farmer's market. Scioto Mile, Urban Green Space. Okay, Johnny, listen. I pulled these as the top 15 places, on Google, I might add, of things to do in Columbus. Scioto Mile, Urban Green Space. We have Devonian Gardens, man. We had the Devonian Gardens. We got parks here, man. We have Princess Island Park. No. Malaka, again. German Village. The German Village. This is why you went to Columbus, Johnny? The German Village? I'm sure it's great. Schnitzel and big beers. Guess what? We have Chinatown here. We have Opa Souvlaki. We have Paros. We have tons of other stuff. You can do anything you want, Malaka. Now, here's one that I could get behind. An Ohio State football game. Maybe. All right. You know what? You might have got me on that one. Ohio State, MAGA. I'll give you that one. The Ohio Theater. I think you know where I'm going with this. Malaka. Museum art. Do you want me to throw the microphone at the TV? I'll do it. Johnny. The Auto Museum. Are you Jay Leno? Do you love cars that much, Johnny? I don't think you do. I think you're a liar. I'm going to also say Malaka. And then the last one, to play at National Wide Arena. Well, you know what? On one end, I would say Malaka, but because it's a kind of a roughly, they are renovating it right now, it is nicer. I'll give you a MAGA on it. But if your two reasons of going is to an Ohio State football game and the Nationwide Arena, shame on you, Johnny. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's the sports show this week. Make sure you go to YouTube, go to the Sports Show TV, type it in, press subscribe. Make sure you tell your friends about it. Put it on the Facebook. Tell the friends and tell everyone. And me, Amy, and Dimitri, we're trying to find a new handle for Instagram so we can get back on that channel. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I rest. My boy will be back in a couple more weeks. I might have a surprise for you next week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being amazing. Let's shove it in the locker and do all that stuff Dimitri says. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Like, we have the Stampede, for God's sakes. I mean, hey, you want to go to Banff? Well, that's one you could do in Calgary. 17th Avenue is one of the best. It's got to be. I can't imagine this Caston Town Center is any better. Bow River, the Bow River Walk, or you want to get on a tube and go have a good time? Heritage Park. You can churn your own butter at Heritage Park. And you can go to, like, Bonacera, home of the 10-cent chicken wing. That's it. Have a great week, guys.
Then I'm mostly what they bopping. You can say what you got when it's Tuesday, I be locked in.